It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely a different type of process.
Cut down or freeze up.
Being a coach's son.
Jackson, of course, they keep retooling. One stolen base, a hit by pitch. Oh my goodness.
Welcome, everybody, to
I'm going to hijack this thing.
an episode of the Hitting Zone podcast. I said an episode. I'm not sure what number episode. I'm not sure if it's new because it's been a while since we've been in studio.
We have no idea what we're talking about anyway.
Oh, I would agree. But before he hijacks the show, I got to make sure that we give a shout out to Game 7 Baseball.com, Prime Sports Midwest, Youth Baseball Midwest. I need you to go out there and hit that dinger and the bell and all of the buttons on the YouTube channel. One, I need you to do this for everybody, actually. So you need to go follow the Hitting Zone, Game 7 Baseball, Prime Sports Midwest. Because the cool thing is you get to see information, get to see updates, notifications. We got high school baseball going on for Youth Baseball Midwest. You got to check us out on Friday. Webster Groves, Kirkwood at Baldwin, right?
If it don't rain.
Of course it's going to rain. It's that time of year, which it rained us out last year, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. But you're going to be in Branson.
Yeah, getting rained out probably.
You know, the first game you guys got is against the Jumbo Shrimp.
I just looked at the time slots, and I think I got a fair schedule, 11 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty fair schedule.
Against the Jumbo Shrimp.
Well, I think I'm going to have some Jumbo Shrimp Friday night.
No, that's the name of the team you're playing again at 11 o'clock. I love that name.
I trust you.
Jumbo Shrimp.
It's a minor league baseball team, too.
Yes, it is. From Florida, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't even know if it's their actual real name or if they do these, it's called Copa or something like that. I don't know what it stands for, but they'll do like random names.
No, it is because we talked to the guy, one of the guys, because they're on our top 10 list of youth baseball team names, and it's the Jumbo Shrimp because one of the guys that coached the team played or knew somebody or was one of the guys that played minor league ball down there with the Jumbo Shrimp.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, it is a fantastic name. Milwaukee has one that's called the Udders. Have you seen this one?
Are they utterly terrible?
No, obviously not, because they got that guys like Jackson Churio that comes through this offense in South Frelick. But no, they dress up in
Udders.
No, they do have some udders on their uniform. So they actually, I almost said it. I won't. Yes, they have like 8 of them. That's like 4 or whatever it is. But they actually have their uniforms are bibs, like overalls.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, like sublimated uniforms that look like overalls.
Oh, killer.
But they only play in the uniform. It's like their version of City Connect, if you will.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's kind of weird, but there's some fascinating names out there. But make sure you go check them guys out. Prime Sports Midwest.
Well, if we're talking about Prime Sports Midwest, this Thursday, meet and greet.
5 p.m. start.
5 p.m. start, 7 to 8, Savannah Bananas.
Savannah Bananas.
We'll be there at the St. Peter's location.
I believe there's 3 athletes coming, right? I forgot the name of the athletes that are coming in. I think there's hot dogs being served early. Yep. You get some discounts on some swag, some gear, bats. I think everything in the store, right?
Yeah. So come out to St. Peter's, meet some bananas if you like bananas.
Bananas. Go Bananas. You want to hear a funny story?
Go Bananas. I
used to work at Cold Stone Creamery.
Yeah.
Love the ice cream, by the way. Shout out to Cold Stone if you want to sponsor the show. But
you couldn't tell, could you?
You want to know, dude? So when I started working at Cold Stone Creamery, I just had graduated college, and I actually graduated with a culinary degree. So I don't know why this is a fun fact. I walked into Cold Stone Creamery at like 265 pounds. I'm obviously a big guy. So I would eat ice cream because I get a free ice cream every day. And I was a manager there. So I had worked, 5-6 days a week, but then I started trading food. So then I went, I don't know if I should be saying this because I guess
you're going to get fired.
Limitations, I'm good. But
He was stealing.
I did. I traded food with everybody around me. So if they wanted ice cream, we would just trade the ice cream for things like Red Robin and stuff like that. I gained almost 110 pounds.
Oh, I believe that.
And I would literally at GameStop next door. So I would play video games. I would eat ice cream. I would manage some 16-year-old kids doing the cinnamon challenge. See how many people would eat a tablespoon of cinnamon, which was always awesome. But anyways,
that'd be tough.
I gained. You can't.
Oh,
You can't do it. If you would like, we could do it on the show. I'll give you a tablespoon of cinnamon. I will put a $50 bill on the table. We'll go live with it. If you can eat a tablespoon of cinnamon,
that's tough.
I will give you $50.
That's like drinking a gallon of milk. You'll upchuck.
Yep. It'll basically, we call it the Angry Dragon, not the Urban Dictionary one, but the Angry Dragon, and you'll take a bite of it and you'll start to cough and it'll come out your nose. It's so funny because you get like 16-year-olds and 18-year-old kids that just have flying egos, and it's just like they can't
do it. No, you can't.
I was like, you don't even have to give me anything if you fail. I will give you money if you succeed. That's how bad this challenge is.
I don't know, man. That's rough. I know cinnamon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough spice.
Coagulates your every little thing in your mouth.
It dries it up.
Yep.
Yep.
And then all you have is dust in there. But anyways, I don't know how we got there. But that's how I got my sizes from working at Cold Stone Creamery.
Hey, it's the hitting zone, baby. We're hitting all kind of topics. Just like, why are you wearing hockey gear on a baseball show? What the heck, man?
Because it's my show, and I got Cardinal stuff on that happens to match. And it says St. Louis right here. We're in St. Louis. Well, we're in St. Charles County, but
that's a stretch,
it's because the Blues are playing some really good hockey. They're playing tonight along with the Cardinals. Downtown's going to be rocking.
They're not even going to be in the playoffs, right?
They're like fighting for the first wild card spot now. Like
You mean the last wild card spot?
No, the first. It's like baseball. They have multiple wild card spots.
Yeah, but it's like the last one to get in, right?
No, it's the first one to get in.
All right.
I think the Wild have the edge, but
so if they don't get that, they're still in the playoffs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, they can't be. Could be because if it's the first one,
four
there's either
teams.
one. Like, right?
They're in the playoff. If the season ended today, they're in the playoffs.
Okay. All right.
If it ended today. Calgary won last night. So
I see.
They got 2 points last night. They tied with our
So how many wild card spots are there?
I actually have no idea. I think there's like 4. I don't know, 2. There's a first wild card spot and a second wild card spot. There's like the Central and all these different divisions. I actually don't know that piece. It confuses me every year because last year we actually had a better record. I don't remember. I could be making that part up, but I'm a sports fan, and I actually like hockey as my favorite sport to watch.
He was saying that before we started this, and we were debating this subject. Although I was really kind of I'm not
irritating me is what he was doing.
I'm not a hockey fan at all. I'm not. It's not a sport that has ever really interested me. Only time I got interested 2 times in my life, the LA Kings back in the day, Gretzky, they won that
he wore in St. Louis, 94.
Yeah, that's right. And it's still ugly.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm wearing it. It matches my face.
No, dude, that's not right. But anyway, and the Blues, when they won the cup, it was fun because the city, it draws you in that way.
Of course.
The game itself, I have no clue. I don't. And it doesn't interest me outside of that.
I like the excitement and fast pace of hockey. I think that's why I like the sport so much. And plus, I couldn't play it, so I'm invested in it. I wasn't good on skates. I had a slap shot on the street, I could shoot some tennis balls at the neighbor's forehead. So we had a good time. That was actually Tim Shipley, his son.
I think I like curling better than I do hockey.
Oh, shut the show off. I got to whack him. What is wrong with you?
Did you like that?
No. Curling his hair. Curling. What?
Watch some good cornhole, man, or something,
No. Cornhole is actually fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy it mostly because we actually have some big time pros in the St. Louis, Missouri, or like in this area
Yeah.
that are competing. We
Maybe
actually
we
have
ought
a
to start
youngster.
a cornhole team, dude. We'll go out and just beat
Don't ask
everybody
me to
up.
do it.
Why? You can't.
No, adult sauce. I like having a little bit
So
of
it gets
outdoor
a
fun.
little blurry, and there's like 2 holes, and you
No, I just
can't.
don't. I don't get like that because I don't get stupid. But I don't take it serious like some of these folks do.
I see, said the blind man.
Yeah, there's actually. Is that a pun?
That's a pun.
Okay, I was hoping that was pun intended kind of thing. No, there's like objects, or not objects, but rules to the game. Like you make a certain throw and how you knock them off the board, or some. I don't know. We do a lot of cornhole events at the hitting zone, and they're a blast. And we have this young man, Cooper, who's like 10 now. Maybe he's actually older. He might be 12, but he's been coming to our events for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He's played in national tournaments.
Oh, really?
And has won a significant amount of cash. And his dad actually, he can't get paid because he's young. I mean, he's been paid out like winnings. His dad takes it and sets it in a bank account for him.
That's cool. I like the cornhole stuff because it reminds you of the bowling, and you get the bowling shirts and stuff. I always dug that, man. I like bowling.
Do you like? Oh, I love bowling. I'm not good at bowling either. I'm really good with bumpers. I can do pretty well there. So what do you think about slow pitch softball?
Men's slow pitch softball?
Yeah, because they got the wild, crazy jerseys.
That to me is boring because all they do is hit the home runs.
Oh yeah, I just meant more of the jersey style.
The jersey's cool. And now, that style of uniform has seeped into youth baseball. And you see the big colors and all that stuff.
Baggy pants, stuff like that.
Right. Which I think is cool. It's fun. The traditional uniform, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Cardinals, the Reds.
What did you just say?
What?
You did not just include the Evil Empire.
You have to, because
they also wear pinstripes, which
yes,
you
I
hate.
know. I don't like it. I can still hate them, but it's still a traditional uniform.
It is traditional.
You have to say that.
It's funny because when you do look at like just different logos throughout the year, because you obviously know I'm a hat guy, and we talked about it before, and seeing the different logos and how very few Boston will have, or the New York Yankees. I think they've had maybe 2 different designs, but it's been the same design, just kind of changed a little bit. They don't vary, and you see like the Marlins might already have 5 or 6 already. The Devil Rays changed 5 or 6 times.
Right. What you got a favorite uniform? Put it in the comments below. Tell us what's the favorite uniform. MLB, college, whatever the case may be. Put it down below. I want to see this. I hope people will do that. Respond. Put it in there. Do it now. Comment below. Put it in your favorite uniform, because I think it's, see like that colorway up there with the Cardinals. I think it's cool, but do you change it? I know that's a big deal now. Hat collectors, you have so many different colorways for the St. Louis hat. Should you do that?
If they ever change this hat, I would be very frustrated.
Really?
I think the STL, the way that this has worked, I don't know what it's called. If Boston ever changed theirs, it would drive me bonkers. And even LA, if they change theirs, as simple as LA is, it reminds me of my childhood as growing up listening
to
rap music, the Reds, the Cubs. Right? Even I love the different varieties that the Cardinals have. Right, the colorway is just the colorway. The classic red hat, I love it. The navy Boston hat, I love it. I miss the red or the navy Cardinals hats.
Right.
They
put the bird on the bat on it now.
Yeah, I mean I actually was going to wear that. What's in my truck, but it's a very similar colorway than the jersey I have on, which is Thomas, by the way, Robert Thomas. I had to, obvious reasons. But anyways, the
Matchbook 20, Rob Thomas.
Not that Rob Thomas. But yeah, I wonder if anybody remembers
Matchbox 20? I don't know.
Oh, what was the song? What is it? Yeah, I can't remember. In my head, I can hear I can hear the music. I was going to start singing it to see if I can match it, but that would have been terrible for the show. We'd have lost viewership.
Did your best Charles Barkley there, bro. Terrible.
That-
That's
yeah.
terrible.
You know what? Ever since I started mocking him doing that, I cannot stop saying it that way. I'm not trying to do that by no means. But I love the uniform stuff.
Mhm.
I think Boston Red Sox happen
Yeah.
to be my favorite traditional uniform. And I really do like some of the City Connects.
The City Connects, in my opinion, are a complete failure. They're horrible. The San Diego one,
That's
What
what all the
is that?
kids that love too.
it's just like an explosion of sprinkles. And it was just like, yeah, that looks good. Let's do that. And we're like, what are we doing? I mean, I'm fine with the colors and the different things, but that was just, it's like it's hard to watch. It's hard to look at. And you're just, I hate the Dodgers City Connect. They're pitiful.
Well, they changed them. Did you see the new ones?
Yeah, and they're still pitiful.
Is there one that you like
And
more
then
than
the
others?
Cardinal one, it's just like, what did you do?
Oh, I love the Lou.
Well, the Lou across, big fat hairy deal, and that's all you get? I mean, do something. It's
Well, it's got
terrible.
a fleur de lis on her.
Oh, Lord. Give me a
This-
break. A
this
lot of
dude's
this
on one
stuff,
today.
it's just like the Giants City
Oh,
Connect.
that's bad.
You put,
They're bad. I think some of them are absolutely bad, but I do like the change. I actually, more than anything, I really like the Players Weekend.
with the shoes.
Well, the shoes, and they put like their nicknames
Yeah,
on the
I
back,
think those are cool.
and then
I
they'll
think
do
those
like
are cool things.
They remind me of the old All-Star Game jerseys, where they would kind of spruce up the All-Star games with
Yeah.
different colored sleeves, the
Right.
jerseys and stuff like that. And I actually think maybe it was the ones they had in LA a year ago or 2 years ago, where they did the that black and the gold. I thought those were pretty slick. I think the Dodgers championship jerseys were really awesome.
Oh, with the gold lettering?
Yeah.
Hey, I thought that was cool. That
Yeah.
was a neat deal.
I love that kind of mix,
Yeah.
in there. I think the Sunday uniform or Saturday uniforms
I
for
love
teams.
the Saturday. One of the best uniforms in baseball right now is the Saturday Cardinals, whether it's the powder or the cream.
Yep.
Those are fantastic. They did a great job with those uniforms. I love the classic feel of them both. And you're bringing in the past history of the Cardinals into it.
That's almost to me, I think that's almost a better City Connect because
Right?
of how it connects St. Louis to the city. You know what I
to
mean?
the history of
Yeah.
the game.
I definitely think has some value. I still do like the Cardinals City Connect only because the Lou
You
thing.
could put the Lou thing on the Saturday one and it'd be perfect.
I agree with you. They make some really cool hoodies. That's random, but I do. Going back to this. I'm a Boston Red Sox. It's the Navy B. I love it.
Really.
I do. I really, really do.
Always, the one that, and it's maybe because when I was growing up, I always used to get the Slurpee, and you wanted the Pete Rose cup and the Cincinnati Reds, and that was always the thing with me because Pete Rose, man, it was Pete Rose.
My favorite Cincinnati Reds logo is probably of Mr. Red on the hat, and the big mustache.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
the ones
red
that used to wear in
stockings.
like the 70s or whatever.
Or it's the Cincinnati Red Legs.
I think it was the red legs, but
Yeah,
I
red
think
legs.
I think they wore that like that hat though in the 70s. I feel like
I can't remember. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
But
Remember?
the C is always, I remember that from my childhood, Pete Rose, and those. Always loved staying up, and you got the news, right? Because that's where you got the scores, and they would put the logos up. And I always remember that. I always thought, I want to see the logos. It was just cool. Now it's just like, it's saturated, and you waited all day because you didn't see those logos anywhere but on the news at night when the scores came up.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not that old, so I did have little different little different route of seeing some of those, but I think
I remember
it's
going
classic. Like it's
going
like Green
to-
Bay Packers and Chicago Bears and
Yeah,
it's just-
going to ball games in the 80s where, people just dressed normally. There was a lot of jerseys. Color people just, you wore your clothes to the ball game. And, that really started to change in the 90s and the apparel and the marketing process and things like that. And which I think is fine. I like the jerseys. I think it's cool. I've got some. I have stuff hanging in my closet. I got you know, I got the two Kobe jerseys, an 8 and a 24. A Shaq going all the way back. Those are things to me that they're cool. Do I wear them? No, not really. I don't. I used to. If I went to a ball game. I
Yeah.
remember we went, my son and I, my brother-in-law and his son, Tyler, we all went to Indianapolis on Kobe's farewell tour and went to the ball game there. And, we're all wearing, I'm wearing the 8 and my son's wearing the 24, kind of that transition. I thought that was pretty cool. And I have a picture over there where we actually were on the pregame show for it wasn't Bally. What was the one iterate Fox Sports?
Oh yeah.
Indiana. We were walking up and they had the camera on us. We turned around and opened up our jerseys and they gave us a show. We were on the pregame show.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's cool.
I thought that was somebody else. I know what picture you're talking about on your desk over there.
Yeah.
I've obviously seen it. I don't have great eyes, so I didn't look closely to whose face it was. I just thought maybe it was a friend or something like that. Yeah, jersey representation. I think that's cool. That's a little call to action to our fans is tell us your favorite jersey. I don't need the why. Do you need the why? Just tell us what it is.
If you want to put the Y in, you can, but you don't have to necessarily.
Yeah, it could be the old Pittsburgh Pirates hat from the 70s when the
Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, baby. We are family. Let's go.
Jerry Royce was on that, who was a St. Louisan.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us your favorite. You got mine, which is Boston. You got yours, which is favorite. I just had to ask. It's the Kansas City Royals. There's something about the white and the royal blue. Did I get that one right? Did I get it right?
No.
Wrong city?
Wrong
state?
Although, I don't know if I just have like that. I've got to. Do I think it's the simple, the royal, and whatnot? But, a favorite hat that just colorway and whatnot. I don't know. No, not really.
Yeah, I think what I see is just the classic.
Right. I like the classic stuff. I mean, when I see it all change and whatnot, you see that New York Yankees, that midnight blue, basically, it's almost black, and you hear the Emperor's March and all that. Dun, 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 dun. That's the way I always think of it. But it's the Yankees. I don't like the Yankees. I do not. But you understand that's baseball, man. I mean,
that's tradition, right? Isn't it like everything about it? The arches in
they still have that. It's the most World Series ever. The reason probably I don't like them is you just couldn't beat them.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's how we feel about your Dodgers right now,
right?
It's because it's going to be a while before. I mean, you still got to play the game, obviously, but I mean, my gosh, they're so darn good.
And
Tyler Glasnow's your number 5 or whatever he is, and just like
just went out and destroyed the Atlanta Braves.
The riches.
Oh my gosh!
You know what though? There's.
But let's talk about this. Hang on, real quick. I don't care, Dodger. The Cardinals. I thought it was an impressive. They lost last night in extras. Okay. But they've had a pretty good opening week.
You know what's cool? And I did some research on Brant Brown, just kind of whatever. And he had talked about the philosophy going into this. And I was like, okay, let's see if this happens. And if it matches what everybody else in the organization's philosophy is, because if it comes from top down and like most of us think it is, it's coming from Mo and channeling all this.
We hope not anymore, because that guy's pitiful.
Well, he has been, and I think it's showing right now, because I think on his way out, I think they're doing what they want to do. And 10 hits, 4 straight games. We've had 40 hits in 4 games. I think that says a lot. Hats off to Los Angeles' pitchers last night to getting us out, or getting them out of innings. But I mean, there was baseballs that were still hit hard. Mason Wynn late in the game hit that line drive to,
and he's still struggling.
Yeah, he doesn't have a hit on it either.
Yeah.
Neither does Wilkes Contreras. But I'm like, man,
Love Newbar. Listen,
but look at their change though. 2-strike approach, strikes on him. It's for the team.
I like Lars Newbar as a player. I love watching him play. I think if that guy stays healthy, that's been the biggest thing. Just the consistency. When you get hurt, you have to restart everything. You have to go back through it. And it always just kind of, you have those. I'd love to see him stay healthy I think the guy can hit 300 and hit you 25 home runs. I really do. I think he's that kind of player. I love his energy. And if you get that in front of a Arenado, and it energizes him, I think that could be very good. But I've said this for the last 5 years. The Cardinals, it's not a matter of talent. It's not a matter of the players. It's not a matter of the manager in the dugout. It was always an organizational issue from the top down. They've had these organizational issues for the last 6 years. They didn't address it, and they finally did. And I think it's how these young players ping-ponging back and forth, back and forth. Victor Scott is your center fielder. Let the man play. Quit trying to send the big man, Jordan Walker, back down to fix his swing. You don't need to fix his swing. Look at the guy. I mean, you understand what I mean? There's always tweaks and things, sure. But you don't need to. He needs to hit more home runs. No, he'll hit home runs. Look at the man.
21 years old when he got called up to the big leagues. Some could argue to say that he shouldn't have been on the opening day roster, but his spring was what we called for. As fans,
but I think that's where the organization put it on him, put this stuff in his head. We want you to do this. No, I think the organization sometimes put the pressures on young kids instead of just, we'll work through the issues. We'll see, but just let him go. I want to see what he does. Yeah, let's just get to the plate, see the baseball and hit it. I know that, that sounds like, oh my gosh, that's not the way it is, the professional level. Well, yes, it is. Baseball is still baseball. You got to see the ball and hit it.
It's still hard. It's still
very difficult.
Yeah.
Are there tweaks? Are there guys that do you have to work and do? And does it get to the higher levels? Yes, in the end. But unless your mind is clear and you're confident, I don't care what tweaks or this or that. It's determining whether you can see the baseball and hit it and your mind's clear enough and you have that confidence level when you get in the box to hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that's moving like a wiffle ball.
Sundays, he was off on Sunday. He didn't play. And they did a interview with him because I think it was 2 years after his opening day. And he talked about opening day baseball in general. But he talked about his kind of growth. Yeah. And which you see this in maturity, right? He's a 21-year-old kid. And I think as Cardinals fans, this is where I think we screwed up as fans and organizationally, is we wanted to see the next Jackson Merrill or Jackson Churio or Jackson Holiday, these guys that are 20, 21 years old. We wanted in on that player being on our team. And I think we forced that issue a little too soon. I think they should have started younger.
I don't know that we forced the issue too soon. Honestly, I just don't think the organization was structured correctly to support the kid right.
That may be true because you had guys that are coming back and he was getting injury opportunities and they could have picked somebody else a little bit older, somebody that didn't have the same projections and a little easier to deal with. I think they screwed up Dylan Carlson. I think they were on their way of doing it with Nolan Gorman because of the mental side of it.
Yes.
And I think this is a big reason why Tony La Russa never wanted young players on the team. Because there was such ups and downs with their development.
He was just a cranky old dude.
It could have been. He needed a Snickers instead of, maybe. I'm not sure, but I love it.
But it worked.
It did. But
so
they picked up guys like Woody Williams and Jason Marquis, guys that we picked up John Lackey late, and all of the fans got upset with picking these guys.
And that goes to that was La Russa. He was winning. He won a lot. So.
It didn't matter.
Okay, fine. Do it. But now, organizationally, and I think this is where egos get involved and Mozeliak gets involved. It's my idea. This is the organization. This is the way we do it, and we do this. No, you're destroying these kids.
They're still kids. There's still 100% kids. It is across the board in Major League Baseball, the age of 26 years old, maturity in the brain. It's where it peaks. Across it, Sandy Alcantara, Zach Gallen, all these guys that we've lost and moved on. 26-year-old, 26, things change. Jordan Hicks. So I agree with you 100%. I've dug into this a ton just because I want to know where we're coming from.
Right.
When we're making arguments or when I argue with a fan and say, listen, Jordan Walker's not busted. He's not a bust. He's 21 years old. Let the guy fail. The problem was we didn't give him the opportunity to fail. When he went back down to the minor leagues, he still had issues. And all of a sudden, one day when he could just play for free, guess what happened? He lit the cover off the bar, took the cover off the ball. Then he got called back up to the majors and then crushed it in the majors. Hit, 15 home runs
But
in the
then we
majors?
got to go back because he's not hitting enough home runs. Shut up and let the man swing the bat. I'm tired of that stuff, man.
Which probably leads us into what we were going to talk about today, which we didn't get to.
Did I hijack it good enough for you?
Yeah, but I think it's fun information though. Because this is a podcast, and I feel like that's a great podcast setting. Just talking baseball, talking shop, and kind of building off that. Because I love uniforms, I love hats, I love other sports. But getting to the root of this thing, it's like you talk about the hitting side, Jordan Walker, and
Right.
They want him to lift the ball. Well, he's swinging and missing a ton. And so there was a question you asked me.
Let me ask you. See, because I always go back to this. Here's a man who hit 700 and some home runs. Would you consider Albert Pujols a home run hitter?
I mean, I would have. Do I think that he tried to hit home runs? No.
That's what I mean.
I think he tried to barrel
That's
the
what I'm
baseball.
talking about. He was not the quintessential. He wouldn't be. He's not. You go, oh man, he's a home run hitter. No, you always looked at Albert as just a hitter. The guy is one of the best hitters in baseball. Henry Aaron was not a home run hitter.
I'm not sure anybody that's on the top of those lists were home run hitters.
Except for Babe Ruth, when you talk about that.
How?
But then
Joey Gallo to me, so I love where you're going with this actually. So Joey Gallo,
yeah,
Adam Dunn,
right.
Those guys, Jim Thome. Well, Jim Thome was actually a little better hitter than that, but those are the kind of guys. Mark Reynolds, the lefty, Brandon Moss, that was in St. Louis for a while. Those guys to me were home run type hitters.
I think we tried to make them that rather than allowing those guys to hit 30 home runs and be satisfied with that and let them hit 275 to 280 and not striking out 300 times in a season.
Well, look at Harmon Killebrew. Look at Stan Musial. Look at all these guys that are in the 500 club, Willie Mays. And it's just like these guys hit high 300s. Oh, the velocity was different. Come on.
Okay.
You faced Bob Gibson in that time frame and Sandy Koufax. I know that those guys didn't give up a lot of home runs, but what I'm getting at is these guys.
It's still hard to hit.
I think what's changed is we take 3 swings at a pitch that are all in. They're all for me. None of it's for the team. Where I believe that Albert Pujols, think about the Brad Lidge home run that he hit off him in the playoffs. All he did was put a good swing on a ball and it was hit out. He did not try to hit it 6 miles. He tried to hit that ball probably right center gap and made an adjustment and hit it out.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Brant Brown's approach this year. And he talked about it in the winter warm-up is, hey, you're going to get your pitch to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, don't miss it. That's all he said, right? Don't miss your pitch to hit because after that, it's for the team.
Right.
And it goes back to the 2-strike approach or, if you will, the 1-strike approach. We don't want to get to 2 strikes. And that's my advice for the day. Do not get to 2 strikes hitters, okay? It becomes very difficult to get on base. But if you make this about the team after your pitch, then think good things can happen. Opposite field approach, up the middle approach, and adjustments, having changes in the at bats because dynamics change. Whether that's a runner moving up because of a stolen base, pass ball, whatever the case may be. So, to me, I think that's going to be successful over a year for the Cardinals. I think that might be what's different for this group and something we haven't seen since Albert and Lance Berkman, Scott Rowland, Jim Edmonds, those kinds of guys.
Think about it. Brendan Donovan hit his first home run from the left side last night.
Yep.
How long has he been in the league? You mean to tell me he didn't have that in him? No, but the approach, the thought process, you're looking for pitches, you're looking for your pitch, you put a good swing on the baseball, and look at that. He hit his first left-handed home run just last night.
Good things happen when you focus on small details at a time. Until you get to 2 strikes, the strike zone is small. And so plate discipline, all those things were out the door last year. That's what drove me bonkers about watching this team play, is we were swinging at pitches that made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then taking pitches that definitely,
last year was a
head scratcher. 2 years ago, it was really bad. Obviously, losing record, but
is Paul Goldschmidt, was he that bad a hitter last year? No. I just think there was nobody in that organization that had a clue where it was supposed to go.
Yeah, and I don't think the hitting coaches were bad. I don't think Ward was a bad approach or a guy that you wouldn't want to listen to. I just think that the conversations in the meeting room, or the culture, if we go back to culture, because the culture now is a fight for your guys.
Right.
You could see the excitement in the dugout. You could see it now coming from a guy like Nolan Gorman last night. Hadn't played in 2 games, or Sunday. Didn't play in 2 games, comes in, hits a bomb, goes 3 for 4, 2 for 3, whatever he was. Didn't say a single word about sitting 2 games.
Okay. Now I'm going to really light you up. Hijacked. All right.
Again.
So we're talking about this subject, and this is what I've watched baseball a long time, and I was there watching all of this when loved it, enjoyed it, had a lot of fun watching Sosa and McGuire and the home run chase and all of that stuff. Randy Johnson was still unhittable because you thought he was going to kill you with that fastball as he slung it at your head, and it's like a strike.
You thought you were going to be the next Dove?
Exactly.
John Kruk knows about that.
Yeah, it's scary.
Of course.
You got to have a lot of nerve to get in that batter's box against a guy like Randy Johnson. I don't care. And just to hit a home run, and you're thinking, I'm going to go up and jack one. Okay. But we got enamored with the home run because of the juice. Barry Bonds, all the home runs that were being hit, Jose Canseco. I remember sitting in Angel Stadium in the late 90s, my dad and I, or mid-90s. Well, it was way back. It was even before that. Early 90s. My dad and I were there watching a ball game. It was the Angels and the Athletics and the Bash Brothers. And I watched they booed Jose unmercifully, and he hit 2 bombs. It was just a thing to watch, and you could see the one he hit as he turned on it, and we watched it go right out the ballpark. I was like, well, I guess you ought to quit booing the man. But, relating to the steroids and all the stuff, I'm not getting into that, but it was part of that. We got enamored with the home run in baseball. And I think we forgot. And once then they decided, well, I guess we got to quit sticking people with needles. And I have my thoughts on that. We won't share that today.
Go ahead and share them. Because you know my thoughts.
Yeah, if you're going to stick them and let everybody go on. It was even field anyway. That's my thought. But nonetheless, they took it away. Okay. Well, now what are we doing? You don't have that guy. You don't have Jose Canseco crushing baseballs and all that stuff. We don't teach hitting anymore. And you see the guys like Brendan Donovan. He's a hitter. The guy can hit. And last night was an example of a guy who can swing the bat well and put a good swing on the baseball from the left side, and all of a sudden it's a home run. And we're not thinking like that anymore, to where he's going to hit 15 to 20 home runs because his swing is so good at this point. He's not worried about hitting the ball out of the park. I think we got enamored with hitting the ball out of the park so much, and it filtered into the youth. It filtered into the high school. If you can hit 2 home runs in a high school season, it's pretty good.
Even when we played with juice bats, I felt like that was still pretty good.
Right.
And maybe 5 to 8 was pretty elite then, and I know that the kids are still doing that now, but
maybe 5.
yeah, and they're going somewhere.
Yes.
Deservedly so. I played against a young man, Jason Deckelbaum, in high school who hit 15 home runs our senior year of high school, and when he went to play at Central Missouri. So, and that was with some loaded bats, and he played in a big park at Hazelwood West. So, granted, he was one of those guys that just had a great year. Up until then, he wasn't a guy that hit 10 plus homers a year. You know what I mean? And why, I don't know. But the question I have for you, and this kind of going back to you though, haven't we always hit home runs in this league in general?
Yes.
I mean, I think one of the greatest eras of baseball, guys that are part of the 500 home run club. Look at the era that they played in, and they played against some of the greatest pitchers of all time.
Yep.
Which may be the greatest era of baseball. Between I don't know, I don't know how far you want to go back, but between the 40s and 60s, I feel like is some of the best Major League Baseball players, at least in the Hall of Fame, that you see.
Mm-hmm.
The Harmon Killebrews of the world, those kinds of guys. It's just they were always hitting home runs. And I think we've always done that. I think the difference is today it's every single swing you take is trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And I think that's where we miss. There's no competitive nature anymore. It's just grip and rip, which I love that piece. I do as a guy that's big, but I get one. The other one I cannot give to the umpire, right? Because I don't want the umpire to take the at-bat out of my hand.
Right.
So I don't want to get to a strike 2. So the pitcher's going to get his strike. I cannot miss mine. And sometimes that means, this is what I love about your boy, Freddie Freeman. He is a guy that gets his pitch.
What comes to my mind.
Well, that's
right.
I think he's a professional hitter. He's flat out a professional hitter. The ball that he hit out, and they did the little thing on Kirk Gibson, threw him the first pitch.
Was that killer?
As a
fan,
yeah,
just a fan period of baseball. That was a great moment.
You have to probably be my age to understand that, or maybe maybe 38 to something.
Definitely my age.
Definitely your age, but I feel like maybe 38, 40, unless you're.
That was 1988.
Yeah, it's amazing thing, but it was first pitch. He smacked it, but you've seen him take first pitch hacks.
Yep.
And he'll roll over a ground ball because it was outside or as a changeup or something. He won't do that again.
No.
Right? And so to me, that's a professional hitter, because next time he'll spit on that pitch, right? Even though it's first pitch and maybe he was elevated, he'll spit on it. But then he's thinking opposite field single. And then he'll run into a double. If he makes a mistake, I'm good enough to pull it out of the spark. And he's still facing upper 90s. If you say pitching is different, he's still facing high velocities. He's still facing movement. To me, that guy is exactly what we should be teaching. And he's very direct.
And to your point, look, think about this. In this era, I'm looking at the last guys that are hitting a lot of those home runs. Albert was one. I think Mookie's in that category where he hits 30 home runs.
25 to 30 guy, yeah.
But he's hitting 300. Where is that guy? And to me, I want that guy, and I want the longevity. I want a 15-year career of that guy, and he's going to have 500 home runs. Reggie Jackson, Albert Pujols. Where are those guys? Rod Carew, give me a break, man.
Well, Luis Ariz, San Diego's first baseman, which he plays a terrible first base, by the way. Help him out on getting his foot off the bag so he get on the corner instead of getting ran over, but he's a guy that's going to hit 330 plus.
Mm-hmm.
He's not fun to watch. He doesn't also, in my opinion, score a run. So him getting on bases, I don't know what the value is as far as argument of if that's the guy we should be modeling our approach after. What I like about his approach is every so often he'll take one and he'll go get it, but he takes team at bats. That's why you have to like the guy, is because he takes team at bats.
Yeah.
He is so very difficult to hit or to pitch to. Especially you get 2 strikes on him. You still feel pretty darn confident that pretty darn confident that he's going to put a ball in play and avoid situations, double plays, line drives, fly balls that are lazy. So I think we do miss that. And I don't think that culture is built in youth sports anymore.
No, because think about this. You're looking at some of these kids. We just, and I think now these are extraordinary, in my opinion, hitters in high school with a Jake McCutcheon. The video game numbers that we saw when they put up back when McCutcheon was a senior. You look at those numbers, both of them were hitting they had like a 1,500 OPS, some ridiculous. They had double-digit home runs. I think McCutcheon had like 52 runs scored and 48 RBI. In high school, those are ridiculous numbers, ridiculous. But yet he hit like 489 too with 10 home runs. See, that to me is the perfect melding. Don't try to hit a home run. Work the at-bat. What you're saying, we're not teaching to the at-bat anymore, to where you're going to get, if you're a good hitter and you're strong enough and you're that type of player, you're going to get some home runs. If you hit 30, isn't that enough anymore? I don't know, man. It's just strange to me.
Well, where did I think this happened maybe 10 years ago, where I felt like there was a shift and we only really cared about what we were doing as the player. So as a team sport, right? I didn't really care what you did. I didn't care if you got on base or not. I was going to still do what I do. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to hit a ball out. Kudos to
Mr.
me,
3000.
but I lost 10-2.
Mm.
But I accounted for 2 of those runs. So I get to put that on my stats. That way I get to send it off to Twitter or X and say, hey, college, look at me. That's the piece where I see a lot of the change was I still feel like we don't know how to play a baseball game. I still feel like that at some major league level, at points in the major league season, I still don't feel like we're teaching the game of baseball. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're just teaching how to get paid. And That's what I think youth sports is just do what you do because your teammate doesn't care where you go to college. So you go do what you do because you don't go to that same high school together, right? And all these different things. So there's no support. There's no team at bat. There's none of that anymore. And so that's how I try to coach because longevity, that's how the game is played. And that's what's going to get you to the next step because everybody at the next level can play. So when you go to high school and you're playing varsity, especially out here, which we cover a lot of GAC stuff, there are a lot of good teams, class 6, 5, and 4. And they're all got some dudes, right? So what makes you different? How much can you work with that best player on your team to become better, to overall make your team better?
Do you think MLB is changing back a little bit? Do you see that?
I think with how this year is starting, I think so. I still think the game will always evolve because of the money that's in the sport. I think technology is always going to be there. I'm not against technology by no means.
I understand.
But I think fans are getting bored with watching
strikeout, home run.
Having 5 guys have 200 plus strikeouts or 180 plus on a team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fun for kids to watch strikeouts happening. I think on the other side of the diamond it is.
And people say, well, the game is boring.
Oh, I'm that guy. We said it before the show. I actually think it's a boring game to watch. I watch baseball because I like the things the managers are doing. I like
the conversation in between.
100%. I love, this is what I
like to watch baseball with people.
And talk about moments.
And you're having a conversation. You go, oh, it's one of those things.
Whether they mess
I don't have to look at you. We're watching the game, and you're like, and so and so, and one of those things.
Did you get that vibe from the guys on TV? That the broadcasters and stuff, and that's what I love about what we try to do with our show too. Is we try to have those moments and talk about them. Because I do think
that's why I like high school, calling the high school baseball games. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
because
100%.
It's what it is, right?
It's
a pastime.
It is. It is America's pastime, not football. Whatever your debate is, whether or not the NFL is taken over as the major sport, I have no idea.
Yeah, baby.
I don't think there's anything greater than playing this game. I still do think the game is boring to watch on a Tuesday evening at 7:00. It is Tuesday, and they play at 7 tonight. But it's hard to stay focused for all 9 innings. Not that I don't love the game. There's something that'll happen. I'll obviously, look up and watch. I cannot shut everything off and just watch a full baseball game.
And I think this is why, sometimes with sports, why, we go, oh, they're just crazy. People are crazy. The tough thing is in sport, and I think this is where it used to be more so than it is today. There was a lot more emotional investment, personal investment. It was the city. It was your team. I think that's still a lot that's why I think Cardinal fans are the best fans in baseball. I've heard Dodger fans say, they're, oh no. Honestly, since I've been back in St. Louis, in 2003, moved here in 2003. I remember sitting in Busch Stadium, old Busch Stadium, in the playoffs in the early 2000s, wearing my Dodgers gear.
So this would have been 2, though, right? Busch Stadium 2?
Yeah. Not the current one.
Yeah.
The one, because you had Sportsman Park, which was Busch 1, I guess, is what they call it. And then, the old round stadium. And being there, and I like one of 5 people wearing Dodger blue, in the whole stadium. And just the fans, everybody around me was so nice. They're giving it to you. And that's when Kershaw was like giving it up still and couldn't beat the Cardinals. But just the people they give you the business the whole game and laugh and have a good time and fun, but they were invested, as the Cardinals. They're fans. They know the people, they know the history. They do. There's not a lot of people like that anymore. And I don't think we have the kids. There's no, when we go and we talk about trivia, do you know Cardinal trivia? There's a few kids, but who knows the history of baseball and whatnot? That doesn't mean you have to know it to have. But most people that are playing baseball today, are you a fan of the game? Do you enjoy the game? Why do you play the game? Even now, if you're not going to play beyond high school, I think you ought to just focus on high school. Get to high school and let the cards land where they may. That's what youth sports or the elementary, middle school level needs to be the thought process. Needs to change. Be a fan. Enjoy the game. Get to high school. Play high school baseball because there's plenty of good high school baseball in this city.
In this state.
And then let the chips fall where they may.
100%.
Quit thinking about I'm going to be in the major leagues when you're 8, because you're not. You don't even know that. You may
you may not make your high school team.
If
let's not get to the major leagues. I literally just talked about this the other day. We're going through this twice. There's a parent who had their kid really mature at like 11, 12 years old, was one of the best players in this area, got cut from their high school as a junior, got cut from their high school team. Their youngest son is not very good, hasn't really hit the maturity stage yet. He's worried about the next step. I'm like, how do you know where he's going to be? You just had an athlete go through this who was very good at this age, didn't make his high school team. So it could be the complete opposite of that.
Sure.
You just never know. And give him grace. I think that's got to be a big thing that we have to move towards is give him grace for failure. Let's talk about their attitude and effort. Like, let's get upset about those things
and I think
control them.
That's why I think the organization, the Cardinal organization, because these things filter down, and what you see at the big league level, it filters down. People, what are we going to do? We got to hit home runs. We got to hit them. Or no, and over the past 10 years, everybody's teaching, it was in youth, the hit tracks, everything. What's your launch angle? Let's change your swing. We got to get launch angle. Are you kidding me?
That's ESPN.
The kid is 10 years old and he weighs 20 pounds. Launch angle my behind.
You almost went for it.
I mean,
that would have been good.
It's just, come on. And that's what I'm saying. So I think you have to, you look at the big clubs and you look at things and you see how things have filtered down into the elementary, middle school levels, which don't need to be there. This is a professional team here with professional ideas. Understand, but I think the understanding from that side has to still be there to say, hey, what do we want in baseball? What do we want? How do we want to approach this? Do we want a team, or do we want like 5 guys who are trying to hit the ball out of the park and striking out 800 times in a season and hit 30 home runs, and everybody goes, man, that was great. No, it wasn't.
And missing the playoffs.
And we finished in last place.
Man, I want to go back though, because I want to talk about the city, and this is why I love St. Louis's hat, because I love my city. I don't live in it anymore, but I love my city. Remember on Saturdays you could watch baseball in America or wherever you were at. You know, the St. Louis had their own thing, so you got to get these players recognized. Today, how players are recognized on things like social media. We take what a player did, we take one clip, we highlight their greatness, and then we talk about how they hit that home run, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about hitting the ball out front, launch angles, being this, being that. And so a lot of players get to see that. There's no real connection to it. Right. And so the Cardinals do, like, you'll see it on rain delays or whatever. Brad Thompson gets on with Fred Bird. I forget the actual name of the little segment or whatever, but it's something with the kids, Cardinal kids, or whatever it's called. And they're playing wiffle ball. You know, it's like goofy things like that is what I remember as a kid, that they're trying to bring some of that back, because they are trying to bring back community.
Right.
And you see a lot of Cardinals stay.
Yeah.
You know, when they retired, the Ozzie Smiths, Lou Brock, all these guys stayed in this city, even if they weren't from here. And, you know, you don't see that anymore. Why is that? Is the city not the same? Is there, you know, what's kind of different? Is it politic driven? Is it, you'd rather be in the country? You'd rather live in a different kind of setting? Because there's great towns around here. And I loved being able to grow up in the 80s and 90s and having Cardinals players be relevant in different avenues.
Sean Dice or what it
Brett Shandy's,
you know, Stan Musial, a lot of those
were
here. Bob Gibson, all of them lived here.
Yep. And so they were here often. So you got to see him on the news, and so you could celebrate. Obviously, I didn't get to watch Bob Gibson play baseball. No, but because he was here and celebrated by the Cardinals, I got a chance to watch greatness through highlights. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we have that anymore. You're watching greatness on one swing and having 38 different hitting coaches break his swing down. There's no way that I am breaking down Mason Wynn's swing.
Right.
That's an elite level guy that our conversation, sure, I might have ideas, but I'm not hooking him up to a bunch of contraptions and telling him how to fix his swing. He needs to fix it between his ears.
Yeah. You
know, getting good pitches to hit, which sometimes is hard because you got 8 guys in front of you playing defense. And I do love the community, though. Like, I feel like that's what makes Boston great. That's what makes New York great. That's what makes the Mets, Phillies, L.A.
You know, yeah, because, you know, Fenway is still right in the neighborhood. Wrigley,
man,
right in the neighborhood.
I've actually never been to Wrigley Field.
I'd like to go to Wrigley.
I've never been.
I would. I think it'd be fun.
Boston?
Go ahead and make a trip, do a podcast.
Well, it's only 5 hours away, so we could actually do the trip on the train. We could actually record live on the train.
Trains crash.
Probably less than cars. But I don't know.
He's like, "What are you talking?" Hi, Jack.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you John Madden. I'm gonna take an RV down there.
We'll get the bus.
Yeah,
get a bus.
Get
the YBM bus out, and we'll head out.
That would be something to actually road trip. Be fun. But I've been to Beantown.
Yeah.
And if you ever go to Beantown, get the sausage outside of
I would love
stadium.
to if somebody wanted to sponsor us and we could make a trip around the Central, go to Milwaukee, go to Chicago, go to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a horrible ballpark. The ballpark's nice, but getting in and out is just absolutely.
I'm there for their chili. I actually want a few people that like
Skyline chili.
Yeah.
Cinnamon. It's got cinnamon in it.
Yeah, but it's mixed, so we're good. I can choke that one down.
It's different. It is different. You got to like it.
I like the fact I need to go to Wrigley before they tear it down because it's the last.
You think they're going to?
I don't know if it's old.
It is old.
I feel like it's costing too much to renovate places like the Fenway and Wrigley. I hope they don't.
Well, they tore down Yankee Stadium and rebuilt it in the same spot.
Not the same. It's not. It's,
Will they do that with
I would
Wrigley?
think that they
I
would have
think
to.
They would have to.
I think they would have
Yeah.
to. With
You can't move it,
yeah, where are you gonna move it to?
right?
Lake Michigan. That ain't gonna happen. It won't happen. They're not gonna move. They're not gonna move Fenway either. I always call it Beantown, but that I got to sit at Pesky's pole. I cried walking into. No joke. I cried walking into Fenway Park. I got to.
That's a
walk
little
in,
much. I can't do that. That's honestly, bro.
Then you don't love baseball enough. Yeah, shot back at you.
That's right. There's no crying in baseball.
If you're playing it. I don't. I have actually cried on the field before.
Yeah, I got hit.
No. I never get cried for. I never cry for that. But when you know it's your last time on the field, that's emotional.
I can see that. Yeah. No, I understand that.
And we won, so it's gonna always go out. On top.
I can see that.
But I did.
That I can understand. Walking into Fenway, no. That, yes.
I got goosebumps right now thinking about visually seeing myself again walk out to Fenway Park in right field corner. I just got goosebumps. It was amazing. Now, if I would have went to maybe the first base side, halfway up, I don't know that I'd have got it.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the magic that has happened from Poppy just peppering Pesky's bowl, and I got to sit down in that little hole. Johnny Damon, Carl Yastrzemski. I'll go back to the guys that actually the reason why. Ted Williams, Carlton Fisk. That history of baseball just happened.
Yeah.
It just happened. It hit me because that's history, right?
Right.
That's a lot of history in that stadium.
We got to talk about who's going into the hall this year. We got to do that on another one. We're getting late here, but we got to do that on another.
I don't even know who's eligible.
I don't either.
Ichiro?
We got to do that.
Oh, he just went in.
Let's do that.
Well, we could cut this show off and just create another 5-minute episode, or you're going to hijack that one and turn it into an
No, we'll do it next week.
We'll do it next week. We'll do. All right. Who is in?
And let's talk about. Oh, that's cool. Oh, we'll do that. I'll catch him up later. I got to go out because we're getting long.
Kids throw strikes. Pitchers.
Hit them where they ain't, would you? Don't hit bombs. Hit them where they ain't.
He said pitchers hit them where they ain't. That was hitters hit them where they ain't, wasn't it? And
did I say pitcher?
Yeah, I said pitcher. I was trying to do this backwards.
I thought you said throw strikes, would you?
I did, but then I said.
That's why I said.
But then I said pitchers, and I pointed to you, and I was.
Hit them where they ain't.
Yeah,
well, a pitcher needs to hit them where they ain't. Although you have your DH will do that for you.
The pitcher for Arizona Diamondbacks, I don't know if you caught that the other night, had a big RBI. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ryan Nelson, I think it was, came in to hit because they made a substitution,
mm-hmm.
and so they had to bring a pitcher in. I think it was extras too, and either hit the game winner, or tying run, or something like that.
As my son Justin would always say, pitchers are athletes too. Although Sissel disagreed with that, but I don't think so.
The one that does our show on this?
Yeah, Darren Sissel. Yeah. He was giving Justin Rogers grief. Anywho.
Pitchers can hit.
Pitchers can hit. Depends on the
They
pitcher.
just don't have to anymore. Bartolo Colon can hit.
Yeah. There were some dudes.
Anyways, fans, we'll get on next week. We will talk about Hall of Fame stuff. I kind of like the vibe of this show other than talking about kids throwing strikes, which is where we were actually trying to go today. So play as much catch as you can with purpose. Hit your target. That's good. Go follow game7baseball.com or go visit them. We still got some tournaments that need to be filled. Is your tournament filled, Super 7?
Well, there's 2 spots. Got 26 teams. Call me.
Let's get in there. I'm in it, so you can come take your frustrations out on me when you don't like my shows. But again, the biggest thing I need you to do is go to YouTube, put in Youth Baseball Midwest, hit the dinger, subscribe, do all that fun stuff so that you can get great material, and then check us out on Friday. Hopefully, weather stays away, but we have a great
rivalry.
Oh my Lord, coming up. And then Tuesday, I don't know what you have on Saturday. Don't you have a game on Saturday?
Midwest should be the Midwest Classic if it gets in.
Yep. But
Midwest Classic championship game.
Tuesday starts our GAC. That is the 8th, April 8th, Forza Mall West and Hal. I'll be there for that one for sure. I'm excited about it. So make sure you do all those things that we need to do, dingers, notifications, so that you can watch that game live with us.
Absolutely.
Folks out there, have a great day.